Imagine you've been a fan of a musician for a while, but they don't really make music videos, they're not super active on social media, etc., but every few years, you as a fan get a new album from them. Then all of a sudden, bam, a new song drops and it has a music video too.
Heard you lost your way.
And then the next week, there's another.
No, I'm not afraid.
And another. And another.
All my fault, I do this every time.
And you finally get the announcement that this is gonna happen a total of 8 times in a row until the entire album and all of its visuals have been released. This is what I'm currently experiencing with one of my favorite artists and also a friend of the channel, segly. I've been really inspired by him being open to switching up his approach and connecting with his fan base in a new way that he hadn't previously done. This sudden explosion of music and videos and art has helped him grow a lot recently, and this is an example of a successful album rollout. The traditional method of the album rollout should be very familiar to all of you. Musician releases a single, buzz around them starts forming, they release more singles over the course of like 6 months, maybe a year, music videos are coming out, the album drops, they perform on talk shows or SNL, whatever. This is what happens 99% of the time. Sometimes the rollout is very forced and obvious. I get that everybody's trying to do more numbers, but chill, you know? Or maybe the rollout is that there was no build-up whatsoever, like Beyonce dropping her self-titled without any warning, and then that big, shocking, instant hype is all they need. I recommend Nathan Zed's video on the lost art of album rollouts that discusses the general culture of this topic, but today I wanted to talk about some of the weirder examples, give my take on some of the classics, and so on. One example that I think is kind of funny is the cryptic conspiracy theory treasure hunt rollout. 21 Pilots are a perfect example of this. Over their last few records, Tyler and Josh have given a bunch of clues that connect with things in different videos, and later into the lyrics and themes of the albums. There are characters and specific color palettes, entire websites, various messages to further the lore, and you get the gist. All of this adds to a certain level of immersion and world building. Superfans of the band will be tracking down and deciphering these clues, and it will make the whole journey that much more special for them. But I think it's really interesting that this is more or less just for the stans. I saw similar things with the recent Taylor Swift drop. There were complicated TikToks of people analyzing deleted Instagram posts, investigating patterns from previous Taylor records, and that's all good and well. I'm happy for them. But it's crazy remembering that album rollouts have gotten this intense. You look at something like Childish Gambino's fans inspecting the HTML code of his website and comparing it to the screenplay that went alongside it, and I can't help but wonder, what is the reason for doing this in the first place? While certain musicians have toyed with giving away their album for free, or maybe doing a pay-what-you-want thing like Radiohead, 9 Inch Nails, and many more, one of my favorite cases has to do with different prices yielding different rewards, if you will. Josh Freese is a session drummer that's played with a variety of famous bands including Devo, Guns N' Roses, Weezer, Paramore, and the list goes on. In 2009, he released his second solo album entitled Since 1972, and the dude basically had a Patreon tier list for whoever was willing to pay a little extra. Things started out normal with a $7 digital download, then $15 would get you that, plus a CD, DVD, double disc set, $50 threw in a t-shirt, plus a 5-minute phone call with Josh where you can ask him whatever you want. Go up to $250 and you've got yourself signed drumsticks and a lunch date with Josh to either P.F. Chang's or the Cheesecake Factory. Your choice. And once the prices started getting truly ridiculous for this artist who currently has 300 monthly listeners on Spotify, the benefits followed. Have Josh write a song about you and put it on iTunes. He'll give you and a friend a private tour of Disneyland. Go mini golfing with some of the guys from Devo. Josh will join your band for a month and even, quote, take a limo down to Tijuana and he'll show you how it's done. whatever that means. From what I can gather online, which is hard because he stopped paying for his website's domain, there were a decent amount of takers for the more normal options, and while nobody ended up paying to take shrooms and cruise Hollywood in Danny from Tool's Lamborghini, Josh's antics got him more press than he's ever had since. And yes, articles in The Guardian, NPR, and the Boston Herald are nice, but what really makes this story is that he seems like he was really gonna follow through if people paid him the big bucks. We need some up-and-comer to recreate this one in today's world. Following this approach, what is some bizarre promo merch to help entice you to buy somebody's album? We got the Weezer Ratitude era Snuggies, the legendary Tenacious D rag, barbecue sauce because a good play on words can never go unnoticed, OK Go air fresheners that might come in handy after using any of the previous items, an actual brick from Eminem's childhood home, the Flaming Lips fetus Christmas tree ornament, and the list could go on forever, but I don't know how you can top this. For the experimental band Negativland's album Over the Edge Volume 9 The Chopping Channel, you could also get a 2-gram bag of recently deceased band member Don Joyce's actual human remains. The band wrote, "This is not a hoax. We've decided to take the Chopping Channel concept to its logical conclusion by productizing an actual band member. It is also a celebration of the degree to which no idea in art was ever off limits to Don, and offers a literal piece of him and of his audio art for the listener to repurpose and reuse. We are pretty sure that he would have wanted it this way." Just remarkable. I bet you the giant statues of Michael Jackson and Lady Gaga that they made for their albums don't seem too special when compared to that. But the more I look at these examples, the more I sort of see where different people are coming from. It's one thing to make a splash in the media and gain more publicity than you would have if you didn't do that crazy promo thing, but does the transaction feel genuine? As the years go by, you as a consumer have one very important thing that advertisers, record labels, and CEOs want desperately, and that's your attention. Money makes the world go round, yes, but such a big part of that today, in this oversaturated landscape of content, comes down to what you are deciding to watch, read, listen to, etc. So while this isn't gonna be some groundbreaking point, I do think it's a good thing to remember. The album rollouts that should feel the most impactful and memorable, the stuff that's gonna stay with you years down the road, are when the business side of things feels authentic to the art side of things. Death Grips are a chaotic, abrasive, in-your-face experimental hip-hop group. Soon after signing with Epic Records, they dropped the Money Store in 2012. The label wanted them to hold off on releasing their upcoming LP, No Love Deep Web, until 2013, but the guys didn't want to do that. They dropped the album the same year against the wishes of Epic Records as a free download with a very explicit cover that I will have to censor for this video. Death Grips tweeted, "The label will be hearing the album for the first time with you." A very messy battle ensued between the two parties, and yet this is the most true to Death Grips result possible. I get that in a traditional sense, breaking ties with your label and giving your music away for free might not seem like a business decision, but in a way, that's the best thing they could have done for their image and brand, because that is who they are. When fans showed up to a Godspeed You Black Emperor concert and saw that this music-first independent band was just selling their new album at the merch table, and nobody knew that there was gonna be a new album in the first place, that fits them to a T. On the opposite end of the spectrum, but still authentic in its own way, Jay-Z doing some next-level business deal with a major company like Samsung, and then showcasing these commercials with significant names in music during the NBA Finals. That's Jay-Z, the high-class entrepreneur worth $1 billion. Daft Punk are a futuristic yet mysterious group that disappear and reappear whenever they feel like making their presence known. With Random Access Memories, they had the album release party amongst the locals in some tiny Australian town with a dance floor and everything. Sure, the concept of commercialism, marketing in the internet age, and the line between art and profit comes up on my channel a lot, but I think the album Rollout is the perfect encapsulation of all of that stuff put together. It's the rare example when audiences almost invite being courted to in a way, and personally, I don't want that to stop. It's fun for the people like 21 Pilots and Taylor Swift to do their scavenger hunts. It's fun to toe that line between consumer and fan, deciding what works and what doesn't along the way. And the same goes from the perspective of the artist. My friend Chase has been doing the weekly music videos as a means of further creative expression, but at the same time, from a business point of view, all that activity is going to help push him in the algorithm even more. Both can be true. I just hope that artists and their supporters alike can stay true to themselves while continuing to cultivate this very strange ecosystem of the music world. Hey, thank you for watching that video. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at RenshawHS. You can buy my merch, support my Patreon, and thank you again. I'll see you soon.